So I really waited a long time to go into the April 8th solar eclipse because I wanted to actually look around at what other people are saying and also verify the things that they're saying. So a few things that have been very disturbing was that we are seeing that the National Guard is being called out for this eclipse, and that is just a flood of rumors. Everybody is afraid that they're going to be locked down, that something really major, but what they're actually stating is, and this has happened with the last eclipse, just to let you know that the investigation found out that they called out the National Guard last time, but it wasn't actually even brought out because they do have a whole lot of people that come out during that time. So they're going to have hundreds of thousands of people along the whole eclipse route. And with the way that the country is so unstable and what's going on in all over the world, basically all the wars that the United States has been involved in, it does make it so that they should put out the National Guard for some safety. And also a lot of people that are in this country, in the United States now, are not loyal to the country, don't have any kick in the bucket. They haven't lived here. They don't have any of their people here. They're here for themselves strictly. They don't have love for our people. So there is always a chance of something serious to happen. But that would be under any circumstances whenever they're having something major like this. So this is like the main thing that they've done over this. Other than what we're seeing, like the bridge, the Baltimore Bridge that went down. And if you haven't done some investigation into that, this is something that I saw, an explosive expert talk years ago about how he was actually hired, him and his team were hired by the United States to actually put in explosives inside the bridges in case of a war so they could cut off ground troops. Like, that is really even something that you need to do today, but they were doing this back about 10-15 years ago. So most of the major bridges in the United States have been set with explosives, and I guess that there is a main building in each city that controls each and every bridge that they can set them off at the time. Some of the videos do show lights going off at the top of the bridge one by one, which is a good indication that that may have happened. I mean, it's pretty clear this was not an accident. The pilot said that he lost power within a few minutes, but then something took it over, so it looks like it was a remote control. It's very obvious that this was a strike. United States is getting strikes, so that's why the National Guard is coming in. There's also some more crazy rumors out there talking about the eclipse, why the National Guard. Some of the ones that I've heard that people have said that basically this is going to be the time when people are going to change because they've had the yin-yang, and we know that this has had a lot of effects, health effects, and created a lot of on the lives of the population. There is the rumor that at this point that is going to be set off because of the magnetism and all of the stuff that's happening with the eclipse, that it's going to set off those people. And I did listen to Jason from RKX, and he gave a really crazy idea about what possibly might happen. Because he gave an example from, I think it was from 1579, I think the story he was talking about. And that was when there was an eclipse that happened. And actually there was a asteroid that fell through. Who was it? Can't remember. It was a really famous story from a famous, and if I remember, I'll tell it. And it fell through into this pub, and all the people started to change, and their skin started kind of falling off. They physically started to change. Did you see that? How I changed like that, right? They started to change. Their skin kind of started to fall off, and then they started attacking and biting everybody. And this was like went all over the whole area. Who was it now? Oh, Shakespeare. It was supposed to be Shakespeare because it was the Okay, so it was supposed to be Shakespeare that experienced this and wrote about this. So this is Chronicles. And it got so bad that they had to physically stop, and it was like almost everybody, a lot of people actually turned into this kind of zombies, like really crazy stuff, that they had to take them to the public square and chop their that was the only way to stop these guys. That was the only way. And then he brought up, which we all know, if you've been looking at the conspiracy, that the United States had bought, like, the amount was just crazy. It was like 80,000 guillotines, right? And then Canada did. And then people started investigating. I remember Amazing Polly, she investigated this about the guillotines, right? And she found out that they tried to say that they were paper cutters, that the Canadian government had bought all of these paper cutters for, cutting paper. But it was rather strange. And now this is the rumor that Jason from Archaics is kind of saying, is there a possibility that the people who have been yin-yanged, is that something with the solar eclipse, with all of the magnet and everything, could make them go a little insane? Let me tell you a story about this, because this is crazy. This is about 2 years ago. Remember when there was that one? Everybody said, I think it was Halloween, they were going to turn into zombies, those who have been yin-yanged, right? Well, we had a get-together, barbecue and fire pit and everything, a bunch of friends and family. And one of the friends and family who had been really seriously into this had actually, and brought his children, had actually spent the day making steaks. And his whole back trunk was full of steaks. And he brought them to my home just in case we turned into vampires. Like, honestly, guys, so be careful about your thinking at this time, because that's probably one of the major things that's happening. It's making you go a little insane with all of these crazy ideas. So now, if we think about it, that there is a bit of a war going on, and the National Guard is probably coming into there. But we also have to remember, along with the guillotines that they bought, Walmart has been fitted out as a prison. It can be easily transformed. This is the Jade Helm kind of days when we were looking at that back in, 10 years ago and stuff. And they were talking about how all of these Walmarts are fitted out to easily transform them into prisons, which we've kind of seen them do that on. And also, at the time when all of those guillotines were bought, so were all of these coffins. And they were like stored at the back of Walmarts. Another thing I noticed about Walmarts that were really interesting when I went there the other day, they are the blue painted, or they've got that blue siding all over, and they've been painted with that really unusual blue that does not get burnt when a certain blue laser hits it, but everything else will. And that's rather interesting, because when we know that what happened in Hawaii, all of that, it was only the blue roofs that were fine. And then now we notice that a lot of people are actually, government buildings and everything are doing that, but all the Walmarts, check it out. So we got that. That's going on with this. So it does make it a little leery that you should be very careful. And also, too, they're talking about Russia right now has said it on a number of announcements. The kindest thing that they could do to America is set a nuke in low Earth orbit, which would be a Carrington event. And if you ever heard about a Carrington event, believe me, it's not just that the power's going out, it's everything explodes that's connected to the power. So major fires. And at that time, would there be any firemen to come and help you? I don't know. So there's all this possibility for the 8th. But is any of that going to happen? Let's see. I have no clue. A lot of rumors, though. Live and love and light. Talk to you later.